they basically video you, and there's like a pressure plate under your platform, and they see where how much force you're putting in throughout like the whole lift. So they can tell like if certain parts of your lift are like lacking due to strength or technique. And then there's also cameras and stuff like all around you that track your body movement, and just see like your bar path and your technique, and then they'll kind of look at that, like both of those, force production and technique, and see if there's anywhere they can improve on, or if you're doing anything wrong.
Damn, that's pretty sick. That's pretty
Yeah.
sick. So like for a movement like the jerk where you're having to get in a split stance,
Mhm.
are they looking at like both sides? Because I imagine like when you're in competition, you only do one side, but like do they look at both sides and do they kind of analyze the difference?
Are you talking about like your which foot forward?
Yeah, yeah, like where they look at the
No.
angles, your knees and stuff like that.
They might look at that. As far as like opposite feet, we only jerk with like 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. Like we never switch it up and do like so. Like my left or my right foot is forward and my left foot is in my back. So we'll never like no one really switches it up, unless like there's something majorly wrong with your jerk. But uh, they will look at like bar path and, how much force you're pushing when you're dipping and when you're catching.
Did
Okay.
you ever play around with like opposite feet being forward? How did you find that you were going to stick to right foot?
Um, it was like a trick my old coach did back in the day. Uh, Actually, I can't remember who did it, but they'd basically just tell you to like relax, and like kind of get your mind somewhere else, and then they would just push you from the back like randomly and see which foot you step, like you catch yourself with first. So
Oh,
it's like what your body instinctively wants to do, and like most people, it's their right.
Dude, that's so crazy because I for a short period of time I did like a little bit of Olympic weightlifting.
Mm.
Never like got obviously deep into it as you. But they did the same thing. And I thought that that was like, I don't know, kind of barbaric, but I guess that's like the way to do it.
Yeah, it makes sense, but when when you're fighting, your left foot typically is forward, or like whichever, you know, jab, your lead hand, whichever one's
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, so Caden here also is and that's something that's very interesting too, is you got into martial arts and like I'm very interested how that fits into your training program and like because you're of course you're always training for
Mhm.
Olympic weightlifting. So how do you fit that in and like make sure it doesn't get in the way or cause any, harm to your real training?
Uh, Causing any harm is like there's really no preventing. Like if you get hurt, you get hurt, but obviously you're trying not to. As far as like fitting it in the schedule, I only work out. Well, I train 4 days a week in weightlifting. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, rest Saturday, Sunday. So Wednesdays are typically the days where I'll go and do something.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell the people who are watching so tell the people who are watching about your weightlifting journey and where you're at right now with your rankings and what's up moving forward.
Yeah. So last year was obviously Olympic year. So the 2 years previously, I was in the quad, which is like basically just a group of people who are eligible to go. So about a year, I'd say a year and a half before the Olympics, there's a set group who's qualified, to try to qualify for the Olympics, if that makes sense. So if you're not in that group, you can't like take someone else's spot who's training to go, even if you are better. So 2 years or about a year and a half, we were training to go to the Olympics. I feel like I just peaked a little too late. Like age wise, obviously I was like 20 when I was trying to go to the Olympics. So I feel like just like your body's maturity, mine just wasn't as like even where it is now, like a couple months later. So I was super close. I was actually like one lift away. So like the last qualifying event, if I would have made my last lift, there would have been a chance at going, but didn't make that. So we took probably a couple weeks off and then just started training for like the other competitions that weren't as big, but junior worlds, junior Pan Am, stuff like that. And we ended up winning junior Pan Ams and then going to junior worlds in Spain and winning that. So now I aged out of junior since I turned 21. So now it's just the senior competition. So there's like two a year that we go to. It's Pan Am's, which is all the Pan American countries, and then senior worlds, which is every country.
Yeah, and you were talking a little bit before we went live about the new weight classes
Mm-hmm.
because you hit. What did you try to hit? What did you hit, and then what did you fail on that last attempt? And then talk about now how you just hit a new PR.
Yeah. So the last chance qualifier, I was a 73, so that's around like 160. Um, I missed 180. No, I missed 193 two times. I cleaned it both times. Missed the jerk both times. It was kind of just like an off day, which it would have still been a PR and it was close, but my snatches, I missed my last one behind me, which kind of like hurt my elbow. So, warming up for clean and jerks, it was a bit rough. Like I couldn't even jerk. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, we went out there, gave it all, and then just came up a little short. But yeah, we still got time for the
But
next.
yeah, but now you passed that. You passed that pretty significantly.
Yeah.
They with a 150 snatch and then a 200 clean and jerk, which is
Mhm.
330-pound snatch, 440-pound clean and jerk. And then now you're just trying to see how that fits with the new
Yeah.
classes.
Yeah. So I was a 73, 160. Now I moved up to 79, which is 180.
Quick
No,
maths, quick
79.
maths.
One,
79 kg to LBS. How do you do
173.
it?
Yeah, it's 173. No, 160.
Okay, so that's a lot of weight for how much you weigh. How tall are you?
About 5'9", 5'10".
Okay, okay. So
Dude,
you got okay, like I mean that's still you're still pretty freaking strong, like
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah. I
freaking
mean,
strong, man.
going up in weight, like it helped so much. Like just training, you feel better. And then especially injuries, like when I was 160, it was, I feel like I would get injured a little more, whether that was just like aching or uh, like pulling or whatever it was. But as a 79 now, it's like so much better. Like I can actually push harder and not feel as wrecked.
I
Yeah,
always
your
say
joints.
I always say Olympic weightlifting is some of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Like with putting that much weight over your head is just incredible. Like
Hmm.
for a 180-pound man to hold 440 pounds over his head is like so impressive to me.
Yeah.
People have heard of the sport, right? But like how would you describe the sport, like from your perspective?
Um, super, I would say super technical. Like, obviously, I'm not like the strongest person. Like, if you took, you know, I'd say I'm ranked probably like five or six. Did you look at the rankings? What was that?
Well, when I was looking at the rankings, it was the let me pull it back up. It was the from the Paris um qualifiers, I think it was, and it was the 73 kilo division. And I just took note that on this list you were the only one from USA in the weight class that was ranked, and they had you at 19.
Mm.
But I was reading some Instagram stuff about 15 was the number at that time, but I don't know the details. Like, I mean, you're in it.
Yeah, so you would have had to been top 10. So like everyone on that list is like within a kilo, you know. So 1 kilo would have could have moved you from like 19th to like 12th, and then 2 kilos could have moved you from whatever 19th to 10th. So it was
Wow.
all super close. Um, but yeah, anyways, like shit. What were we talking about?
We're talking about like describing the sport from your perspective, like how
Oh,
you see it.
yeah. Yeah, like oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying if you took someone from my weight class around the same ranking, and like same snatch, clean and jerk, they're gonna be squatting and deadlifting, I'd say more than me. So like my back squat, my back squat's around 250. And then my deadlift is probably around like 240, somewhere around there. I just did 220 for three. So I don't really know what my one would be without maxing out right now. But if you were to take someone who's around the same ranking, they're probably going to be like 20 to maybe even 30 kilos more in those snatch or in the squat and deadlift portion, or just overall like strength stuff. Um, but it's a ton of technique, and then just like how you move overall, like your how comfortable you are with lifting, you know. So like just like your body wants to do whatever it does, and that's kind of like it's all about like reps, you know, just like shooting a basketball. Like if it's ugly but it works, like it just works, you know.
Yeah. So you're very explosive then. You're just you got a lot more elasticity than some of these other guys.
Yeah, I mean I'm definitely taller, but yeah, I'd say like a lot of them are shorter, stubbier, little bigger. Um,
One thing I noticed too when comparing the your most recent video with the new PR compared to the video of you at the qualifiers, it seemed like it moved so much faster.
yeah, yeah, and that's what we've kind of been working on is like just our overall strength. So we've been doing a ton of just squats, deadlifts. Um, so I think that's really where it's coming from, and then obviously the body weight too is a major thing.
The body
You guys
weight.
ever worked on the feet?
What was that
You guys ever worked on the feet?
on the feet? What do you mean?
Like ever done any exercises to like strengthen the feet and get them fired up?
Oh, like my toes?
Yeah.
No, I have never.
So that's a different world, you know. It's when we think about the most nerves in our body, the most nerve endings, it
Mhm.
goes the brain, the fingers, and the toes. And like and so like the way I was always taught was the stronger my fingers and my toes are, the
Mhm.
stronger I'll be overall. Like even if I'm not like lifting stronger, my body
Yeah.
is just stronger overall. So you think about the rock climbers, for example. You see how they're always just doing some
Hmm.
crazy lifting because their body is just always like their toes and their fingers are ridiculous. It's like they're monkeys.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never even thought about that.
It's like
Yeah, like that's
it's like some people do like rice bucket. You've heard of like rice
Yeah,
bucket?
yeah.
Yeah. And then there's like, guys will do the same concept with the toes. Not that like
you put it on.
yeah, I mean, I've never worked with any Olympic weightlifters, but like um I don't know. It's interesting to us the feet stuff. I don't know if you would catch them at the Team USA training center hitting some towel scrunches, but
Yeah, probably not. Oh, maybe we can put people on though.
one thing that's cool, man, about you, man, is you are very receptive to things. Like I thought it was so cool, like again, just that you picked up martial arts as
Mhm.
an Olympic athlete. That's just it's kind of mind blowing to me. Like you would think you'd have to be so locked in on one, which of course you are, but it's just it's cool how you do both. And then you were very receptive to like the unconventional lifts that I do.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like there's always like you can you can do whatever, you know, like if you take care of your body and you know you're recovering, it's one day a week isn't gonna hurt, you know. And there's like
It's
everyone
good.
does like things differently. Like there's so many different training, uh, like cycles and methods out there. It's whatever works for you works for you.
100%. And it's probably good for the brain to step away and like learn something else.
Yeah,
'Cause I mean,
yeah, for sure.
like for me, that helps a ton. Like with swimming, it's just you have to be so locked into the like the little nuanced details of each stroke, each moving part that like your brain just goes a little crazy if that's all you're thinking about all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you're kids, you just get burnt out if you do something too much. So you have to have fun, you know, fun in something.
100%.
What's the state of weightlifting and the USA right now? What's the word on the street?
Uh, Dude, I mean, our team is like the best team we've ever had. So you know, we went through a period where we like Team USA sucked. Like we were jokes pretty much. And this was like back in the 90s, you know, a while ago. But recently we've had like multiple Olympians make it, you know, medal at the Olympics. I mean, last year we had two. We had a male and a female. So like we're definitely like on the map now, and I think it's just going to get better. I mean, high school, especially in Florida, is blowing up weightlifting like crazy. So it's just like the most people we've ever had in sport, uh, most publicity, you know, with new companies. Like there's a company called Weightlifting House. They pretty much um, commentate on every high level meet. So they do a really good job on like pushing that and kind of making it interesting to watch. So yeah, I think it's starting to blow up more than it used to be.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like, so what are the qualification? Like, what's the process? Because in how many people go in Olympic trials? Do they have an Olympic trials, or is it just the qualification meets during the year?
So there's qualification meets. So there's not like one trial. So
Okay.
last year I think there was six. I think there was like 6 or 7 qualifying meets in the span of like a year and a half to 2 years. So you have to go to a certain amount of them. I think it was four, like 4 or 5 that you have to attend to, whether you lift or not. Like if you're if you're top 10, um, that's that's when you're qualified technically. If you don't get bumped out. So like at the last chance qualifier, if you're 10th or above, you're going. They take 10 athletes, no matter what the country is. Um, Team USA gets 4 athletes, 3 or 4. They get 3. Last year they got 3. So they get 3 males, 3 females, no matter the weight class. You can only have one person per weight class. So say there was like 2 really good 73s in the same weight class, or yeah, in the same weight class. You could only take the better one, so you can't take 2. Um,
You're not competing. You're not competing country to country. It's like the whole thing. Like, is
yeah,
is
you're
that is that
competing.
what?
You're competing against everyone. You're competing against people from Team USA, and you're competing against from people from the other countries. Like you have to be 10th in your weight class, and then so say there's 3 people, like all of our spots are filled up. There's 3 people who have qualified. Um, if a fourth one comes in, say another person is 10th, whoever you pretty much have to compete again, because whoever has the highest like percentage of what weight class they're in. So whoever is ranked that little bit, like the percentage higher, will go. Um, so yeah, it's really just like a a comp between everyone.
So
Okay.
how do you feel being in the position that you're in? Because, when you're growing up, it's a kid's dream to go compete in the Olympics or be a professional athlete. So
Mhm.
now, but then it's like when you're in it, sometimes it doesn't like feel that same way.
That hit. Yeah. It's honestly it's getting a lot better now with like, there's they're finally starting to pay the athletes a decent amount and like just do different things like going to the Olympic Training Center and going to different camps and competitions. Like you feel a little more like an athlete. Um, but yeah, I don't know. You get in these like modes where you're just living and breathing it, and you don't even realize. But yeah, it is sick.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a big part of that is just being locked in. You're
Mhm.
focused on the task at hand.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever you can do to be healthier and stronger and recover better and motivation, mindset, pretty much everything.
So yeah, so talk a little bit about the mindset because you know there's two different mindsets, right? There's like the training and then there's, when you're I don't know, warming up or you're about to walk out on the stage. Like
Mm.
what what is your mentality with training? And then we could definitely talk about like some pre competition rituals, things like that.
Yeah. So training, it depends. So like it depends what kind of cycle I'm in. If I'm in a more technique oriented cycle, my motivation is kind of leaning towards, making every lift as well as I can, like making sure I'm being intentional, I'm fast, I'm technique's good. When I get into like the heavier, leading up to the competition training cycles where we're going heavy a lot, it's kind of you just have to find something that's pushing you, whether that's a person or qualifying for something. Um, that's really, yeah, it really just comes down to like what's motivating you and how hard you can dig.
And so when you're about to go on stage, what is that like? Do you have rituals? Do you have a routine?
No, dude, not at all.
Any
I don't.
superstitions?
I hate superstitions because like if you don't do it, like if you can't, then like it's gonna throw you off. So I don't know. I personally like I don't I don't believe in any like rituals or superstitions.
Coach,
The only thing I like to do before every comp is eat waffles or pancakes. That's about it.
Where, what's the go-to? I mean, I guess should be in different countries, but where are we going if we get a choice? Where are we getting some waffles and pancakes?
Dude, honestly, anywhere. Like, dude, you'd be surprised how hard it is to find it sometimes, but somehow I pretty much always make it work. The hardest thing, honestly, is syrup. Like, nowhere has syrup besides the United States. They use like honey or like Nutella or something, but they don't have syrup, dude.
hey, I wouldn't complain about some Nutella, man.
Yeah, but then your
Like,
pancakes dry as hell.
yeah, you gotta get that. You gotta get a milkshake with
Yeah, yeah, that wouldn't sit well before lifting.
it. But besides that, like what are the main things that you look forward to like in every practice or every meet? Because besides the weightlifting, like what's like the one thing that you really look forward to like when you're going in?
Um, man, training's hard, dude. Like looking forward to something in training is really difficult. Like because every day it's just a grind. Like you never feel good. Obviously you have good days and you have bad days. So like I just try to go into it like making sure every day is like as good as I can make it, you know. Even if that's like not pushing myself like to that breaking limit where I'm like destroyed or I hurt something, like just stepping away from that is really like what I'm trying to focus on and think about is just staying healthy is really the biggest thing. But as far as competitions, it's like I love competing. Dude, it doesn't matter like how bad a cycle is or how good a cycle is, like you when you step on that platform to lift and it's like in front of all those people and it's what actually matters, like training doesn't matter. It's that's what I look forward to. Like I'm adrenaline junkie. It's like I don't know, I just feel so much different when it's on the line.
100%.
Yeah, I bet
100%.
with Muay Thai, you know, you training, then
Oh yeah.
you compete and you just adrenaline.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that's been consistent for me is like I always am very calm.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, like when I was training for my first fight, whenever I was about to walk into the ring, we were warming up and my coach was like, "We spar on Tuesday, Thursday nights." And he was like, "It's just another Tuesday, Thursday night." And that just like flipped my mentality and it stuck with me because Tuesday, Thursday night, I'll be doing my thing, putting a hurting on them boys.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like go in onto the ring and like there's no need to be scared. Like it's just another Tuesday. Like you do this. This is what you
Yeah.
do. Now it's just time to perform.
Yeah, exactly. I think staying calm in the storm is like what it's important. Every time I go out there, I usually take a couple deep breaths before I, you know, take my lift. Find what I'm going to look at, take a couple deep breaths because like your nerves, dude, some people like their nerves get to them. Like it'll be a lightweight and your nerves just take over and you just do something that you don't normally do or you change up your body just a little bit different and you miss. So yeah, staying calm and focused but still having that adrenaline is like super important.
Yeah, that's I mean that sounds exactly like fighting
Yeah.
because there is those guys that they go in there and they talk about like the legs feel heavy, like I feel like I couldn't like throw anything, like I felt slow and it's just like that state of like you could call it shock or whatever it is, but the nerves, the butterflies, it like freezes you up and you start missing those light loads or
Yeah.
you know, getting punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think a lot of that has to do with the because for me, my explanation of that is it's total confidence in the training
Hmm.
in the training that you put in leading up to it. I feel like if you believe that you put in the work and you actually believe that because you did it, that there's no need to be scared.
Yeah. I do think that I feel like weightlifting and boxing, as far as like training leading up, is probably a little bit different. Um, Weightlifting, I don't know if it's just me, but I know some other people that, you know, feel like absolute dog shit before a competition. Like you can't even hit, you know, 85, 90% of your maxes. You don't think where you're supposed to be. But I do think it comes down to like your trust and your confidence in yourself. Um, like, dude, I feel I'm so confident in myself. If I I feel like every weight you could put on there, and I just go out and hit it. You know, you just kind of have to just send it. You know, like don't think, just have confidence in yourself and what you've done, and then yeah, if it feels good, it feels good.
So
I mean,
a little bit about like a training cycle for you guys. I don't know how much of that you can give away, or if it's cool, but is it, what is it, 12 weeks, 16 week, like leading up to a big competition specifically?
Hmm. Um, it really depends. Like usually it's 12 or 16 weeks. So sometimes, or actually most of the time, we split ours up. So we'll do like a 8 week volume, and then we'll do like an 8 week strength and taper. So like kind of the first part of it is more focused on, building endurance, and then like getting bigger. Dude, I forgot the word.
Hypertrophy.
There you go. Yeah, hypertrophy. And then the second half of that is turning that, new mass and muscle into like strength and just force output. And then when you're tapering towards a competition, more technique and heavy lifts. So yeah.
How long are we looking for a taper?
I'd say about a week and a half to 2 weeks. So
Okay.
you kind of go like super super heavy, like pretty much maxing out. Say a week and a half before, um, and then you slowly just build down. So like 80%, 90% your openers, and then um, just like a couple days before, you'll probably do some powers, some like light powers, and then I usually take 2 days off before I lift.
Nice. For us, you'd be surprised, but for us, a taper was 4 weeks.
Damn. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
because we train year round, and we have like two big comps,
Hmm.
two big meets for the year, and it'll usually be the winter championships, and then like the summer championships. So summer will always be like international competition, like long course, so 50 meters, and then the spring and the winter would be 25 meters, 25 yards,
Hmm.
depending on if you're competing internationally or domestic. Domestic was always short course. I mean, it was always yards, and then international meters.
Hmm.
But it was pretty fun, man. I loved those 4 weeks. Just like your body, you never feel good, bro. You wake up every single morning with your back like
Yeah.
and then for us, we had 7 days a week. Like swimming, we don't take days off. Which I mean, man, like
That's
I
crazy.
remember there were days, yeah, like the days we had off. Like we had two Sundays off a month.
Hmm.
Um, and I would sleep probably like 18 hours on those Sundays.
Yeah, that's insane.
Do you feel like knowing what
It-
you know now, Andrew, that is unwise?
No, no, I do think that training 7 days a week is very good because it keeps you it's good for your mind, but doing as much as we were doing was bad. Like we were training twice a day, sometimes three times if we had weights that day, and it was just like it was way too much volume, way too much yardage. But if I were to switch things up, I wouldn't be doing two training sessions a day every day. And if it was two training sessions, it would be like recovery, decompression, and then training, like actual training. So it would be mixed up. It wouldn't be two hard sessions in a day.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like 14 sessions a week or more. That's insane.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, it wasn't two times every day. It was Saturdays and Sundays was only one practice. So we were hitting about 12 to 13 sessions a week, but still absolutely like ridiculous. Your shoulders, you don't even know what feeling good, no, like you don't know the definition of feeling good.
Yeah, that's dude, how do you even have time to do anything? School, eat, sleep?
Bro, all you gotta do is like I would go to the cafeteria, like I go to the athletes lounge to eat and just get like 17 plates, bro. Just like my I would get chocolate chips with a side of waffle, basically.
Dang,
Like I would fill my cake batter or my pancake batter, I mean, with all the chocolate chips in the world. And it would probably be like 1,000 calorie waffle. Eat like three of those, have like two omelets, and
that's crazy.
then a burger
So
if I
did
could
you ever
find
go
it.
to the USOPC?
What was that?
Did you ever go to the training center?
Yeah, yeah. I went once. I went one time, and let me tell you, the rooms, I was having the hardest time breathing in the rooms because like
You were in
you know,
the-
you turn up the altitude when you walk in.
oh yeah, you were in the dorm rooms, right?
Yeah, yeah. I only stayed there for 3 days though. I didn't I was not having a good time, bro. I was not
Like
having a
the
good
dining
time in
hall
that
though?
altitude. What was that?
Did you like the dining hall though?
Loved it, man. Like,
Yeah,
look, food is food. Food is food, and like, and that shit was good. That shit was good.
yeah, dude, that dining hall, like they had a smoothie bar, they had a little grill that you could ask the chef to cook something up on. They had everything. It was sick.
And I remember having the unlimited protein shakes and just little bars on
Yeah,
the fridge.
yeah.
I would take like eight, like a bunch of protein bars, like all the nuts, because they had like the trail mix as well. Putting
Hmm.
that in my bag.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Dude,
That was a good time.
trail mix is an elite snack.
On God.
But especially when you get that little M&M in your mouth and then it's just a
Uh,
flavor bomb. That's where it hits for me.
talk about the snack profile of an Olympic weightlifter.
Ooh. I really don't snack that much. If I do, it's probably like mostly candy or chips. Um, but yeah, nothing, not a ton throughout the day. Sometimes I have a bag of trail mix, but that's really about it.
What's the
It's
diet?
usually
What's the diet like?
um, so I wake up. I eat the same shit every day. I wake up. I have a protein shake, but I'll do whole milk, uh, scoop of protein powder, scoop of collagen, handful of like frozen berries, like strawberries, blueberries, um, bananas, frozen bananas, and then a little drizzle of honey. So that's kind of what I drink right after I wake up. And then say around 11 to 11:30, I'll have some eggs and toast, and then around 1:30 or 2, I'll have like my first lunch, so like beef and rice or something like that. And then my second lunch is right around 3:30 or 4, and I'll do another like portion of beef and rice, or sometimes it's leftovers. Um, and then dinner is around 8, and that's usually the same thing, like either potatoes, rice, um, beef. It's pretty much just beef, honestly. I
That
beef.
sounds that sounds about right.
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
What are we talking?
That's how I eat as well. It makes it easy on the brain, bro. If I don't have to think about like cooking, I mean, I cook most of my meals, but if I don't have to think about what I'm making, like it just makes it so much easier. Like,
yeah,
do you eat until like do you eat until you're full, or like when I'm in like heavy training, I like to eat while I'm still hungry, so I'm like still hungry, but all my meals kind of like make it so I'm not like starving.
yeah. Um, when I was like, right now I'm kind of bulking, kind of not. But when I was going up a weight class, I would eat until I like, dude, I couldn't eat anymore. Like I'd feel like shit. Um, but now I'm kind of sitting at a weight where I'm comfortable, so I'll eat until I'm comfortably full, like not feeling like blah, but eating enough.
Yeah, I feel that.
Where do you where do you feel like you have the most room to improve right now?
Um, Definitely, I need to improve my snatch for sure. Uh, my clean and jerk's pretty good, so if I can get my snatch up, that's kind of where we would like to put our focus on. Whether that's technique or strength. But I think strength wise is kind of what we're focusing mostly on right now. That's kind of what we took away from the camp is we need to kind of improve our force output, like our peak force for me. So yeah, it's a lot of squats, deadlifts, um, strict press, stuff like that.
And do you feel like there's a
You
lot
ever,
more like there's a lot of room for improvement, or is it? Yeah, do you feel like there's a lot of room for improvement?
Yeah, I definitely think like I can put a couple more pounds on and still stay in my weight class, and then uh, definitely like maximize that in my lifts. Yeah, I'd like to be at maybe like 205, 210 clean and jerk, and then um, at least like 160, 165 snatch. That's where I'd like to be at.
hell yeah, hell yeah,
Is
yeah.
anyone
So
able? What were you about to say, Andrew?
like, do you ever for train like do you ever use anything else on the barbell for training?
Anything else other than a barbell?
Yeah.
Like GPP or accessory work?
Yeah, we'll do accessory work. I think probably like 2 or 3 times a week. So um, usually my go tos are like dips, pull ups, push ups. Um, we'll do some sort of like Bulgarian split squats. Um, Maybe like tricep stuff, bicep stuff. It's either like gym bro stuff or like plyometrics sometimes too.
Okay.
Building explosion, we'll do like step down box jumps and stuff like that.
So okay, you ever try like unilateral snatches and stuff like that?
No, I haven't done that. I haven't really tried either.
I feel you. I
You ever
feel
want? You
you.
ever want to come? You ever want to come hit some? I got bells heavy enough for you.
Yeah, he's the guy.
I mean, dude, this guy,
Yeah.
you could, I mean, you basically, do you ever like play around with the equipment at Strength Depot, or do you just kind of lay it off since got your own training sessions?
Yeah, I mean, some of the machines I like fucking around on, like the like extension leg curls. Um, Sometimes I'll do like the leg press and stuff, but no, I don't fuck around too much because I have training like hours after, so I was like, I don't want to get tired. I don't want to sweat
Right.
myself out.
Yeah, Caden works at a fitness. What would you call it? A superstore or
Yeah, a retail.
warehouse? Yeah. So a lot of my kettlebells that I have in my gym came from there, and so that's how we connected.
Okay, that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick.
Dude,
I
so
mean,
cool.
I feel like I would back in my my heavy training days, I would love to try other things, and then the second I would start, I'd be like, I regret this. I regret this.
Yeah,
I would just go into anything and just be like, oh no.
yeah. Some things you don't realize are like as hard as they are because you don't do them often. Like it's
Surfing.
yeah, it's the weird movements that you're just not used to.
Have you ever looked into any of the like Russian methods or I mean any other of the big like Olympic weightlifting countries and then the people that are producing a lot of athletes and kind of compare your system versus theirs? Like, of course, you probably coaches have learned from each other.
Hmm.
Have you
Uh,
noticed any key differences?
I haven't dug super deep into it. I kind of want to though, just to see and like compare, like you said. But no, I haven't really looked into their methods. It would be interesting though to learn.
Yeah, I mean, surely your coach um, knows what he's doing to produce the athletes that are coming out of the facility.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably has, but I haven't.
What are some athletes in the gym looking like?
So my girlfriend's just aged out of juniors, but she was an international. She's on Team USA. So she just moved up to senior level, so she has to like re-qualify. Um, and then we also have uh, a 16 or 17-year-old girl who's pretty good, and she just competed at her first international meet, so she'll probably keep going.
When you see an athlete coming to the gym, or like even yourself at a young age, you kind of know with Olympic weightlifting, or does it take a period of time? Because in certain sports, you can kind of see that athletic ability when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to like, running and the way they move. But this is, pure strength, right? So can you
Yeah,
see that right away?
you can, yeah. So there's also like it's also hard to say because it's a very long game. Um, so like I've been doing it for 13 years, and like that whole 13 years I was lifting. Like I was doing other things, playing other sports too, but I always stayed consistent lifting, and I think that's really where it boils down to as a kid. Because there are some like really good kids that you can see pick it up super quick. Like there's this little girl at our gym who's like 9 or 10 now. She's been doing it for like a year or two, but her first year, I think she either won nationals or she got second. But yeah, she's really good, and you can tell. But it's really how much effort they put in, because I have seen some really good kids who just like stop, or sometimes they just plateau super early as children, and that's something we see a lot too, where it's like their weightlifting ability kind of caps at a certain point. So like for me, I've kind of just been steadily going up, but there has been some kids like that I used to compete against who were really, really good at the time. And like now we never hear from them again.
Yeah. So like like what would you say are some characteristics that would like make someone be better? Like if you look at someone walking and you're like, oh, that guy can lift a crazy amount.
Like physically, like that you can pick out from a crowd and like say he's a
Yeah,
weightlifter.
so like in swimming, if you see somebody and their ankles flop when they walk, you know they're really freaking fast. So
Yeah.
what is it for weightlifting?
Um, I would say your shoulders and your back. Um, Shoulders, back, and quads and hamstrings are really like the biggest things. Everything else, like,
Okay.
dude, if you see me, I look like a normal kid, but like my back, I feel like is my back and my shoulders are like where you can tell I lift, and that's most weightlifters. Like if you're good, like you have some pretty big shoulders and back and quads.
Dude, it's like right along the lines of why I'm so impressed by weightlifting is like you're what did you say, 73 kilo? What do you like one between 160 and 180 is where you're weighing, what you're weighing?
Right now I'm 180,
And
or
you
no,
said
oh, shit, I gotta do this math again.
and you said what, 5'9"?
Yeah.
70,
Dude,
79.3,
it's
right?
it's crazy. So like because yeah, when you see an individual like you or other like weightlifters, I'm what 6'2", 205 pounds, like, but you're putting up weight that I wouldn't even consider putting on the bar.
Mhm.
And like most people, 99% would never even consider that much weight ever going over their head. Like it wouldn't even be a thought. So
Yeah.
it's so impressive. You just take that.
Yeah, I mean,
I appreciate it.
same with me, bro. Like I'm like a little bit over 200, like about 205, and shit, like I squatted. I mean, for a swimmer, I could lift, but like,
Mm.
damn, not no 400 pounds going over my head.
Yeah, and I think it takes like, like when you hear it and you're listening, or even like when you see the video, like I don't think you fully comprehend what's actually like the physical capacities that takes until you see that in person or and maybe even attempt something like it.
I remember like growing up, like there would always be those kids that like, oh, I can deadlift this, I can,
Yeah.
compact leg press this, I can squat this, and they're full of shit, but you're just like, yeah, yeah, because I don't know, people's perception of weight is like majorly skewed. Like everyone knows what 100 pounds feels like, and it's light, but so they think like, oh, 300, like that's probably not much heavier, but it's like that's a big gap,
Yeah.
and like I feel like a lot of people underestimate how much weight it actually feels like.
Yeah, and it just goes to show like at the competitive scene, we're competing over 1 kilo, two
Mhm.
kilos. Like it makes a big difference.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you said the rankings, you could go up 5, 10 spots based off of what'd you say, a single kilo?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends how close everyone is, but I'd say the spread between like 10 spots um, is only a few kilos.
Wow.
Damn,
Yeah, obviously
damn. So
there's outliers, like there's always like one or two people who are just insanely good, um, whether that's steroids or not. But
okay,
They're
so yeah,
testing.
going on that route, like, how do are they testing you guys a lot?
yeah, I mean, at least for the Americans, they test quite a bit. Um, Other countries, I don't know. It's kind of like at a certain point, it's like almost like a corrupt thing, which is why they were actually threatening to take the Olympics out of the or weightlifting out of the Olympics, is because the corruption in weightlifting was kind of spreading. So they had to like get rid of people and hire new people, and that's how we got our spot back. But yeah, I mean,
It's crazy to think how common that was not so long ago, where like like nobody was testing for anything.
yeah,
It wasn't that long ago.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Now they just have ways to hide it better, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I got tested a few times, and I'm telling you, if I had someone in my system, I would have been shitting my pants, bro.
Mhm.
Like, I mean,
Yeah,
looking over your shoulder, everything is just like I can't hide a pee bag now.
yeah, exactly.
do you think if
So like,
do you think if because I feel like in these other countries like when they go to the Olympics, I feel like they it holds more value. Like, do you think if America put that same, or maybe they do put that emphasis or that importance around, bringing back the gold medal, like,
Mhm.
do you think it would shift anything, or do you think we do that?
Um, I think we do it a little bit, not as much as the other countries. The girl who won the Olympics this year, she's gotten a lot of opportunities from it and like sponsorships and everything. But dude, like some of the other countries, what they get for making the Olympics is crazy. Like, bro, some of them get houses, they get cars, some of them get handed businesses. Like it's insane. On top of like cash, it's crazy. Like you
yeah,
make
that's
the
how.
Olympics and in another country, and like you're set for life, pretty much.
Yeah, United States, you get 50,000 for a gold medal.
Yeah, yeah, that's like half
Yeah,
a year's salary.
for real. And the amount of money you have to spend just to get there with all the recovery, all the food, all the freaking
Yeah,
around the country.
yeah, it's like you just break even.
For real. For real. So like what would you say was one of the things that got you into weightlifting? Like, because you said you tried other sports, but what made you stick with it and start it to begin with?
I started lifting because my dad was doing CrossFit, um, and then I just went to the gym with him, and I just fuck around on the rings, and do deadlifts, um, work out with him, and then the weightlifting coach at the time had a youth like weightlifting team, and he was like, "Dude, you should come try it out." So I was like, "Okay," and I just started doing it, and then my first year I went to nationals, got third. My second year I got second, and then ever since just getting first at nationals. But there was times where I wanted to do something else, play football more competitively. Like I played throughout middle school, and um, sometimes I would want to put more focus on that. But why did I just freeze? Oh, there we go. But at the end of the day, I was good at weightlifting. Um, and that's kind of why I stuck with it most. It's because like that's what I'm really good at. So,
Yeah, I would say same for me, bro. I wanted to be a basketball player.
dude, same. I played basketball, and I was like, Dad, I want to quit weightlifting to do basketball. And he was like, Bro, you realize you're 5'9", an Asian? I was like, Yeah, true.
True.
Fuck, you don't see a lot of Asians in the NBA, huh? Yeah, okay.
Unless
They were
you're,
hitting
you
my
got you.
parents were hitting me with the I'm not tall, so you're not gonna be that tall. And I was like,
Yeah,
man, fuck you.
yeah, yeah. It is. That is how it is.
Oh man. Dude, talk about picking up martial arts a little bit. How did that come about?
Dude, I think so. One of my friends who used to go to the gym with us, he did Muay Thai and boxing, and he used to go to the boxing gym I go to now. Um, so me and my other friend were like, dude, we should just go in and like just go try it out. And that's literally all it was. We just went there once, and then me and him started going for a while, and then he went on like a mission trip. So he's gone for like 2 years, and I just kind of stayed going every week. It was just this is something to get my mind off of, and get some cardio in. Felt good after being all sweaty and shit. So, and then my dad also does jujitsu. He competes in jujitsu. Um, so I'll go to Gracie Barra with him and just like roll around, and it's just like a fun, non-competitive, not competing thing that I like to do.
Think it helps with your mobility?
Honestly, it might a little bit, just because like you build up so much lactic acid when you're lifting, and it kind of just loosens you out a little bit, you know, especially if you're sweating and you're hot. You just loosen up your muscles a little bit.
100%. It's
Yeah.
like a way to train rotational movements.
Mm.
Do you work in any rotational movement in your, accessory work?
No, not too much.
So I wonder how much the rotation you're getting from martial arts is. I wonder if it has a positive training effect to Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah, it might. I mean, I don't do it a ton, so like,
Oh, true.
but it might, just one day a week.
Yeah, I know one thing that me and Andrew both really enjoy this guy's training philosophy. You may have heard of David Weck,
Mm-mm.
but he talks a lot about rotational movement training and how getting really strong on one side at one side at a time,
Mhm.
and then when you go to the bilateral, it has a positive training effect in terms of strength.
Yeah, I have heard like a lot of like single-sided stuff can fix a lot of imbalances and build strength overall. So it's just something we haven't like gotten to, but I'm sure eventually we will.
I wonder if it's common. I wonder if it's like, I mean, I wonder if it's I wonder what the other Olympic athletes, like the other weightlifters, are doing. I always am fascinated by how you can achieve the same outcome with various training stimulus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I like looking at the some of the Chinese stuff. They do a lot of unconventional type of lifting. At least some of the stuff that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Doing a lot of like catches where they're catching their load on the bottom, stuff like that, where like they'll have the weight and then they'll just like drop down as fast as possible to
Yeah.
build a lot of that extension in the knees and
Mm-hmm.
that fluidness. Do you guys do a lot of I know you said you do plyometrics, but when you're doing your plyometrics, are you guys trying to land like in a full deep squat, or are you guys trying to
No,
stay stiff?
it's mostly about the explosion up, not necessarily the catching down.
Hmm,
Yeah, I mean
that's cool.
that's what they talk about a lot with like depth jumps and plyometrics, that elastic that bounce out,
Mm-hmm.
that reactive elastic ability.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a ton of weightlifting, like what it
So if you're
is.
working in some depth jumps, are you doing do you work in repeats, or is it going to be like a big height and like one effort?
It's gonna be repeats. Yeah, so probably like 7 to 10,
Nice.
or
Nice.
like some sort of like even like hurdles too, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, like hurdle
Right.
jumps.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Do you got like what type of shoes you wearing? Like, are you wearing have you ever tried the tier lifting shoes?
Yeah, I've had 3 pairs. Um,
Okay,
they just
those
sent
are
me.
the wide toes.
Yeah, yeah, they just sent me a new pair. They're new carbon ones. So I've tried those out. But yeah, I've tried pretty much every shoe. Um, I've been rocking with the tier ones for a while, and those feel good.
Yeah, you ever tried the barefoot ones?
Barefoot shoes or like lifters?
Well, they have the tier just released a barefoot shoe. Like, have you ever tried that one? Like the actual shoe?
No, I haven't been a big fan. Not a fan, but I just don't like how barefoot shoes look, so I just don't wear them.
Okay, yeah, fair. They do look funky.
Yeah, my dad used to wear the toe shoes, and I used to make fun of him all the time for it.
Yeah,
Oh man, we're gonna have to do some work. Andrew, we're gonna have to get in on the mindset of Mr. Caden here. Me and Andrew are big on like barefoot, training the feet, and like we only wear barefoot shoes, and kind of like that natural movement type philosophy, that like primal
Yeah,
type.
yeah. I mean, dude, I don't knock it. I bet it's amazing for you, but
Yeah.
I
Hey, do you have any kind of interesting like rules in the gym? Like for some people, you know, there's you can't step over the bar, or things like that.
no. I mean, personally, I think just the biggest one is don't walk in front of someone while they're lifting. Other than that, it's free game. I mean, I don't really nothing bothers me that much, to be honest.
So if you step over the bar, it's not disrespect.
No, I don't think so. I've
You heard
never
it
thought.
here first, people. This is a Olympic weightlifter here.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. Like if someone stepped over my bar, I'm not like,
If you happen to be using steel plates and you're loading it on the bar, do the numbers face in or out?
steel plates out. Yeah, for sure.
The numbers face out
Mhm.
on the bar?
Like where you can see them from the side. Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Wow. Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting. What about when you rack them back on the machine? Do the numbers still face out, or do they face in at that point? Like,
yeah. Face out.
hmm.
Like the
yeah,
flat
that makes
side is always like inside.
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
I
mean that
mean,
It's kind of
makes sense.
heartbreaking, honestly, to hear that.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know, I've never done flat outside. Because then, how am I supposed to know what I'm lifting?
Wow. It's kind of a letdown, man. I'm like, that's one I'm on top of in my gym is like, oh, you loaded numbers out. Go ahead and take that off and spin it around for me real quick.
Ooh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta make sure I
That's
remember that.
like that sounds like a mind game. Like I don't want you to know what you're lifting, so you don't have to get nervous about it.
But it's like honestly completely useless because the plates that you're actually using have the numbers on both sides.
Yeah, and colors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
I
well,
always rack numbers out for efficiency when taking them off of the plate holder, but
Mm,
but when they go on the bar, man, it's numbers in for me.
that's true.
I like the colored plates like that. That just makes it so much better, and it looks cool. Like a red plate looks sick.
Yeah, I used to think like bumper plates looked the best. Like, dude, if you have like four pairs of 45 bumpers on each side, like it looks
Oh
like
yeah.
fun.
That definitely
It
weighs
looks
more than
like a car.
four like steel plates,
Like
right?
the rubber plates make it look like a Hummer.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, but
I think there's definitely an effect with four bumper plates versus four regular thin plates. There's definitely a
Bumpers weigh more, or make it feel heavier.
nah,
make it
just
feel
for the
lighter.
I don't know. I just know it looks like it weighs more, so it has to be a positive correlation there,
Mm,
you know?
yeah.
I don't know. For me, the bumper plates always weighed less.
Yeah.
It
I
always,
feel
always felt like they weighed less.
Yeah, I feel like when you pick up a bar with bumper plates, it weighs less than a bar with steel plates.
Yeah.
But then it looks heavier.
Yeah, exactly. It may look cooler, but there's also something about the sound of steel plates clanking together that is pretty satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that hardcore vibe,
Yeah, that Trend Twins.
that old school. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The Sam
The
Sulek.
Trent twins, they're an archetype for real. Like these dudes, these dudes are hilarious. I
Yeah,
haven't watched much of their stuff, but I love watching the Greg Doucette stuff on about them.
dude, they're hilarious.
That's how you know you've made it. Line up on Greg Doucette's channel. Oh
Uh,
man.
oh man, I feel like sports always kind of roast each other. You know what I mean? Do Olympic weightlifters do you have a thing for power lifters where you kind of roast them, or is it another sport or what?
No, dude, we don't have beef with anyone, honestly. Like I've never heard a weightlifter talk shit about like another sport or whatever, like ever.
Everyone hates on I don't want to say everyone, but there's definitely like a big debate in like the S&C world about Olympic weightlifting or not.
Oh, yeah, no, I've seen that. Yeah, for sure. They're like, oh,
What
I
do you
mean,
think
that's
about that as an Olympic weightlifter? Do you think other athletes should use it just from your own perspective?
yeah. I mean, there's a reason football players do power cleans and stuff and like squat, deadlift, like all that stuff. It definitely builds some sort of strength and fucking conditioning. Um, I feel like I'm pretty athletic like naturally, but bro, line me up with a sprinter. Like I'm keeping up, but you put them on a bar with me, they're not keeping up. Like there's a I don't know if that's just like naturally athleticism or if that's what weightlifting has, you know, taught me. But I feel like my vert is crazy. It's like 44 or something. But I
damn, you beat me, bro.
feel like weightlifters are just they're really athletic. Um, like our guys, we did a vert test at the training center, and like all of us could jump, like even the big boys. Or I have a there's a a kid on the Team USA. His name is Colby, and he's African American, but he's a really good weightlifter. He's like pretty good basketball player too. Like we'd play basketball at the training center, and he's like windmilling and like throwing lobs off the backboard. Like he's insane. So I don't know. I think some of the strength and conditioning coaches are just full of shit, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you also can't argue with like who's athletic and who's not. You know what I mean? Because like same for me. Like my vert is not 44. I had I think like 40 or 41
Mm.
back in college. But like anything you gave me, I would have been athletic. You know what I mean? Like you could have like anything you gave me would have helped. I mean, it's just Brett's over here dying.
Bro, I thought that was the funniest thing. He said he's African American.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like I've seen unathletic weightlifters, you know. But
Yeah.
I have seen unathletic like sprinters or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there is an element of I guess you could say hand-eye coordination and timing and yeah, there's a lot of athletic ability going on with an Olympic with a weightlifter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like the technique a little bit, man. Could you explain, like give some cues, like if you were to tell somebody right now if they were in the gym trying to hit a clean and jerk, how would you walk them through that?
Um, you really have to just let them lift and then see what they can improve on. Um, I feel like technique is also a very like I believe like there's a textbook technically there's textbook technique, um, and I believe some of that doesn't really matter. Like if you look at some of the best weightlifters in the world, they have like really bad technique technically, like by the textbook. So their lift is not how it should be, but they're still like the best in the sport. So I think it's really just how you move and how comfortable you are moving. Um, as far as someone like starting out fresh, it's always good to teach them the basics and the textbook technique until they get to a point where they feel comfortable doing something else.
If you're
Um,
if you're if you're eyeballing a like a lift, what are the visual, cues that you're looking for?
I'm looking to see like where your chest is during the whole lift, um, compared to the bar. So if you're behind the bar or if your shoulders are, in front of the bar in certain points, then that's something we would look at. And also, the biggest thing is like your extension. So whether you're cutting it off short or not, but you really want to finish that pull into your hips. And those two are like the biggest things. I'd say a lot of people's technical problems is their pull off the ground, and then their finish. So that's what mostly we look at.
Okay. That makes sense. Do you look at um like do knee angles do knee angles like ever come to your attention? Like how far someone's putting their knee out or in, for example?
Um, to a certain point, yes. To a certain point, no. My knees go out quite a bit, and I'm like actually trying to fix that right now. Is keeping them more straight. But um, if it's Jurassic, then yeah, that's something that we would change. But um, typically, it's not too horrible. Like people pretty much keep them straight.
When you
The
see
biggest
the wave of the knees, right? Like when you catch and then on the way up it kind of swivels in and then back out. What it right, does that make sense the way I
Yeah,
explained?
like a squat, like if you're squatting, if you're going down and then back up, they cave and then
Yeah, on the way back up.
I do that, but I mean, technically you're not supposed to do that, but because it's some sort of like weakness somewhere, you know, when you're driving up, whether that's like your the inside of your quad or something. I'm not a fucking scientist, so I don't know, but I know you're not supposed to do it, but for me, it works.
I mean, okay, so I'm gonna step in right there. So from a biomechanical standpoint, that's efficient because every joint is a rotational joint. Yeah, so every joint is a rotational joint. So if you're getting rotation, that means you're moving in a way that your body's naturally meant to move. And what ends up happening is like you're saving your joints. You're not creating that friction to where the
Mhm.
joints and the muscles are reacting together rather than one staying in a static position while the other one takes the load. So if you wouldn't be rotating, what would happen is your muscles are doing the movement, but then your joints are staying in that static position, putting a lot of load on the actual joints rather than distributing it between the muscle and the joint itself.
Dang. All right. Sick.
Dude, you
Yeah,
probably have
yeah.
like if you look at your knees, I'm trying to think of where you could really see like those ligaments and tendons, but your ligaments, you could probably have very thick ligaments in the knee and even
Hmm.
the ankles. I bet your ankle like your oh my goodness, the name is slipping. But the
Tibial,
ligament on the front, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the
I
tib.
bet it's like thick.
Yeah, that's something that we looked at the camp when we got like biometric scans is like bone density and your tendons and stuff like that. And weightlifters' bone densities are like way thicker than
Yeah.
or denser than most other people.
100%. 100%. It'd be pretty cool to I'm gonna go on your page a little bit later and like watch some of the videos and it's cool like when you start watching the motions and like you probably have your videos on your phone where you could just like scroll on it. It
Mm,
watch if you watch like a jerk for example, it looks kind of like you're drawing an like a kind of like a half circle with your knees
yeah.
like, and even when people are running, it's like half circles that just go like that. So
Hmm.
it's that's where you start seeing like the nature of the joints and everything and the nature of like the rotation, just like because every movement, even if you're doing a sagittal lift, there's a lot of rotation involved with it.
Hmm.
Like for example, this right here, just this, your shoulder capsule is actually rotating in order to get up here. So it's super cool. Like once you get down to the like the nuances of each movement and like start seeing like how the spine and the muscles, the fascia, they react together. It's all like rotational, even when you're going in a sagittal lift. So
Yeah.
it's cool stuff to pick up on.
Have you ever been injured? Had to deal with any injuries?
Yeah. So most like my longest lasting ones were like my back issues. But with body weight and like proper recovery, we kind of got rid of it. And then when I was little, I got like Osgood-Slaughters in my knees. Um, so those sucked like really bad. But other than that, oh, I broke my wrist playing basketball. Um, I broke my toe playing basketball. That was like a couple of years ago. Like I was just playing basketball with my friends, and I broke my toe. No, that was playing volleyball. I rolled my ankle playing basketball with my friends. And this was like before competition. Um, so one of the junior Pan Ams, I had to power jerk instead of split jerking because my toe was broken and I couldn't bend my leg or my foot. So I had a power jerk with flat feet instead of like split jerking.
Damn,
And I won doing that.
Wow. I guess
that's
you
dope.
stick to the split jerk. I guess you
Mhm.
because that's what you just hit your uh new PRs on.
Yeah.
Do you like the what's it called? Static jerk? What do you call it?
Power jerks.
Power jerks, yeah.
I do. Yeah. There's just
I
you're
may
not.
actually be misinterpreting what that actually means though. What I'm talking about is the like the jerk where you, of course, the split jerk. I know what that is, but then the jerk where you like come down in the squat and then like come down
That's
into a full squat. Or that would
that's
be a, yeah, that would be a jerk. A squat jerk, exactly.
yeah. So I didn't do a power jerk is basically the same thing as a squat jerk. You're just not getting deeper, like deep
Mm,
enough. Like you're stopping yourself higher, if that makes sense.
yeah.
But yeah, I think split jerking, most people are gonna do much more weight than a power jerk because you just have more time to get under the bar um, in a split jerk, and it's not as bad if you like if your technique is a little off because with squat jerk, like your technique has to be like precise, like if it's slightly in front or behind, you're missing it.
Are there advantages to a squat jerk? Because I see these, I see the Chinese like clips. I'm sure there's other people doing it, but I always see the clips. And it's always a Chinese dude, and
Yeah,
he's hitting it. He's on the Olympic stage hitting it.
oh yeah, I mean a lot of Chinese people do it. A lot of people do it in general. The idea behind it is if the technique is flawless, you will be able to squat jerk more because you have more time to get under the bar. Because you have that from your top to like the bottom of your squat, you have that amount of time to get on the bar. Whereas like a split jerk, you have like, you know, a little dip to get under. So yeah, technically, if everything went perfectly, squat jerks are more efficient, better for, maxing out.
What was the I know the weight classes are changing. What's the world record for snatch and clean and jerk around your weight class?
Ooh, I want to say roughly around like 160, 205, somewhere around there.
Oh, bro, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right there.
Let me see.
Yeah, you're right there. 200 clean and jerk.
Yeah, my clean and jerk is up there. My snatch, I just need to get up a little bit.
That's pretty cool, bro. You're that close.
And so when you're judging a competition, is it always the total that is the number that wins or loses? It's based off that number.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so 205 is the clean and jerk, 169 is the snatch, but that is like one dude doing that. Like
Wow.
that 169 is like crazy. Like that is his best lift ever.
With the what was I about to say? Um,
69. Jesus
dude,
Christ.
that's insane. What is that in pounds for someone listening right now? We're talking about a snatch.
2.2, so 169
That's
times
like
2.2. 371.8. That's
Yeah.
wow.
ridiculous.
Oh yeah, so I don't know what I was gonna say with your clean and jerk, dude, that video moves so fast. Like I mean, you bounced right out of the bottom. Jerk seemed almost effortless.
Yeah,
How
that
quickly do you think you can push that number up? Not how quickly, but where do you see it going?
um it honestly just depends on the day. That clean and jerk was probably the best clean and jerk I've ever done. Like everything just fell in place perfectly. Like technique wise, it was all there. Um, that was like a flawless lift based off the feeling of it. So I think if I can do that again, like replicate it exactly, there's easily 205 in there, maybe more.
Dude.
So, which one goes first in a competition? Are you doing the snatch first?
Yeah, the snatch.
Hmm,
That'd be interesting
interesting.
if I wonder I wonder how much strategy would be involved if you could choose or if it would really make a difference. Think it really makes a difference? I mean, because that is two different one rep maxes that you're hitting, so there's definitely an effect on the body.
Yeah.
And it's
I,
multiple because you have what, three attempts on each lift.
yeah, I would say snatch would go first and then clean and jerk, just because Your clean and jerk, you can save it a lot easier
Mm,
by adrenaline and strength.
mm,
Whereas a snatch, if you're tired from clean and jerks and your technique is off because you're tired, like you're not, you know, there's a
yeah.
lot more room for error.
Yeah. Have you ever heard we were speaking to a kettlebell weightlifter and it essentially his sport branched off of Olympic weightlifting. So they do clean and jerk and snatch, but with kettlebells.
Mm,
Have you ever heard of that?
no, I have not.
Uh, it's interesting. It's interesting. Like what he did was clean and jerk two. So you have a 70-pound kettlebell in each hand.
Mm,
So it's 140 pounds. That's the max load. So it's not really about a one rep max, but it was 100 reps in 10 minutes with that weight,
yeah, that's crazy.
clean and
Yeah,
jerk.
and if you put the weight down, you're disqualified. So he could not put the weight down for 10 minutes straight.
Whew, damn, yeah, that's nuts, dude.
Yeah,
Um,
he said it branched off from Olympic weightlifting in Russia.
Damn.
Interesting. What um what do you enjoy doing outside of training, bro? You got training martial arts. You just hang out. What you got? What do you enjoy doing, man?
Uh, hanging out with my friends and car shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta talk about your whip.
Hey, chill, man. Yeah, I got a 2021 Mark V Supra, so I just like doing shit with that. My buddy's got some fast cars, so we all kind of just chill and either work on them or whatever it is. But yeah, I'm into cars. Me and my boys play poker.
We doing cash games? What's the buy-in around here?
Yeah, we do like 35 buy-in.
All right. All right. All right. How's that looking, man? You coming out on top or what?
Most times, yeah, I make
Okay, all
a
right.
little profit. Last time we played, I just broke even, but it's all right. It's better than a loss.
Are you in total, are you up? Are you up or
Oh,
down?
yeah, for sure. I'm a
All right. All right. Adrian, you ever played any poker?
yeah, I played a few times. I'm not the I'm good at it. I'm good at it because like I could just keep a straight face. I can keep a straight face and I can act a little bit. I can act a little bit. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty good at poker.
that's what you say till you get Caden come over there and shark you. Well,
Hey, I
poker
mean,
shark.
look, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. I'll bluff to the end. I'll make people spend way too much, and then like just and then I'll fold and be like You see what I mean?
That's risky because if you don't have shit, you just threw all your money away.
Yeah, no, my strategy is always get everybody to spend all their money, and then when I have a good one, I go really aggressive.
Now we know his strat. So
Yeah, and I gotta switch it up.
Yeah, man.
But still,
I used to like playing poker, man. We used to do it. I haven't played in a while, but we would do the little cash games, couple friends get together. I haven't done it in a long time, but it was always fun though.
yeah,
Yeah, it was always fun. It was always fun. Well, shoot, man. What you got, Andrew? I think we'll probably wrap here. It's been an hour and a half. Good episode. What you got, Andrew? Anything?
no, I mean, actually, I wanted to ask you a question about some rumors of Olympic weightlifting.
oh shit.
So, is it true? Is it true that they hang you guys from the pull-up bar by the legs and oh man, this didn't come out well. I was telling Brett that I wanted to ask you a question that was like absolutely ridiculous, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out.
What are you talking about?
You're talking about like
Uh,
decompressing,
I was yeah, but I was talking about some like stupid. It just didn't come out. It didn't come out
some
the way that I wanted it to. Like I told Brett that I wanted to ask you a question that was definitely not true at all, but just like kind of throw you
Oh,
off with how ridiculous it was.
that'd be great.
But no, I just the words didn't come out as good as they could have. But yeah.
Oh man. Hey man, yeah, we'll probably wrap it up. Hey Caden, if you were to give somebody some advice on training, whether it's Olympic weightlifting or whatever their sport is, man, what would you tell them to focus on? What do they need to have in mind to make it to an elite level?
Dude, I'd say if it's really what you want to do, it's all about just putting your mind to it. Um, you know, mentality is like the biggest thing in any sport. So confidence and mentality is a huge thing, whether you want to read about it, you want to pray, whatever it is. Um, I'd say that's huge. And then just staying healthy and doing everything you can to be as healthy as possible, whether that's your diet, your recovery, your stretching, or just being smarter about your training. That's I feel like that's the big kicker, and then just stay on it.
Do you feel like this is your you mentioned praying. Is this your assignment?
Praying.
Weightlifting? Not
Oh,
weightlifting.
like it's my calling.
Yeah, like is it your assignment on earth?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's who I am. I think
Yeah.
um, I think I'm gonna be in it for the long run and really try to make a name out of myself with it.
What's the average age of a weightlifter? How long do they compete?
I'd say males, it's like mid to high 30s. It depends on obviously the progression of everyone else, but your peak male athletic ability is like high 20s, low 30s.
Yeah.
So if you can prolong that and just be smart and stay healthy, like you can definitely get mid 30s or up with it. But that's typically about the male, and then females, it's I'd say low 30s.
Yeah. And how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. Oh, bro. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
bro,
man.
you haven't even hit your close to
Dude.
your peak.
Yeah, bro. I hit puberty like a couple weeks ago. So
Nah, dude, you're on the money though with staying in it for the long haul, bro, because I mean, just think about the years of training that's
Once you
to
hit
come.
25, once you hit 25, it's like a whole you start getting into that grown man strength.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a crazy
yeah.
concept to think of, bro. That bro, you're gonna be hitting some numbers, I feel like.
Yeah, that's the goal. That is the goal.
Yeah, bro, that's so sick. That's
Well,
so sick.
so for the last comments, um, what would you say is the lasting legacy you want to leave on this sport? Like, what is the biggest goal? The biggest goal you got?
Um, I really just want to be like remembered, uh, whether that's like personality wise or achievement wise. I think that's the big goal. Like if weightlifting had like a football Hall of Fame, that's kind of where I want to be.
I
You
feel
know,
like feel like you're like the chill guy. You ever see the chill guy memes?
yeah, with his hands in his pockets.
Caden is the chill guy of weightlifting.
Yeah, even if it's that, dude, I just want to be remembered. And then yeah, go to a couple Olympics.
Yeah, bro. Sick, man.
That's awesome.
Dude,
That's awesome.
man, we appreciate you coming on, man. This is a big deal for us, so we really appreciate it. Where can we find you on the internet? And yeah, man, where can we keep up with you? Where can we watch?
Instagram's probably the best way. It's just Caden Cahoy. Um, that's where I post most of my stuff.
Heck yeah, man. Y'all go check them out. We'll definitely link it in the description Go give him a
And
follow.
last thing, everybody put up your peace signs so
We
we
always do it.
get a little. Yeah, we got the peace signs. There we go. For the Instagrams.
Yes,
Yes,
But
sir.
sir.
yeah, bro, we appreciate the hell out of you for coming on. This has been a fun episode. I had first time really learning about some weightlifting,
Damn.
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So to cap things off, Brett, where can we find you on the Instagrams
Man, y'all already
and the
know, man.
YouTube?
Y'all already know. Y'all already know. We've been doing this. We've been doing now. It's just
Yeah,
Brett theme. There's three T's in there. And Andrew's not fit.
I'm not fit in the slightest.
Not fit in the
Yeah,
slightest. We did say though, after you hit like a certain number, when you hit like 1 million or something, it's gonna change to Andrew is fit or something like that.
Andrew might be.
Andrew Andrew might be fit.
And she just
Hey,
kind of
yeah, Andrew's kind of fit now.
Andrew's kind of fit.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
thank you guys for watching till the end. We will see you next Wednesday.
thanks,
Peace.
guys.